welcome to another episode of Cowboy Chats.
Cowboy Chats is a channel to keep the spirit of the American West alive. To talk to modern day cowboys, legendary cowboys, and anybody in between to keep the cowboy tradition and values and the Western way of life alive and well.
Alright, we are here in Panguitch, Utah. Cowboy Chats. If you like this episode, go on there and like us. Subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And you're not going to want to miss any of these, for you are in luck. For tonight, we rounded up Kiefer Cowley from right here in Panguitch, Utah. If you don't know where that is, look it up on Google Maps. It's in the middle of nowhere. I saw like 3 dogs, 2 cats, and 1 horse, and a sign that said, "Whoa, no stoplights, just whoa." We're here today. We're pretty lucky. We came down, and there's a 3-day Gary Leffew bull riding school going on. So we grabbed a few of the bull riders that we had talked to before in Hurricane, and we were fortunate enough to grab Kiefer, and he is an up-and-coming bull fighter. So some of them don't have a lick of sense, and they get on and ride them. And the ones that have even less sense get out and stand in front of them. So we're gonna have a little chat with him about what it's like to be a bullfighter. I'm Charlie St. Andrews, and we're down in front of the chutes. What do you think when someone tells you, or you hear the word cowboy? Like, what do you think is a cowboy? What makes a cowboy?
You're not tough. You don't mess around with nothing. You just kind of do whatever needs to be done. You don't complain about stuff. Just kind of do it and survive and learn from your mistakes, really.
And do you feel like anybody could be a cowboy? Like, you don't necessarily got to grow up on a ranch or do all that. It's kind of like a cowboy spirit, or a way of life, or a value system, or a way of growing up or living. Or, if you're a kid in the inner city and you wanted to be a cowboy, you throw a hat on and live by the cowboy tradition. You think you could do that?
Probably, yeah. Hard work. You can do anything with hard work if you work hard enough. If there's a will, there's a way. There's plenty of people that you'd never guess had roped or rode bulls or anything like that. So
yes, sir.
You can definitely find, if there's a will, there's a way. You can definitely find people out there that'll be willing to help you. And it's really what it's all about is helping people out. Just doing your best at what you want to do, I guess.
Amen. So when did you get started? Did you get around horses when you were little, or did you get into it a little bit later on, or when did you get around rodeos, or first wanting to be a bullfighter and all that?
I grew up always going to rodeos. We always had horses as kids. We never really, I never really had any ambition to be a bullfighter up until, I realized riding bulls was stupid. So I, got a hold of Skip, and he said he'd be willing to help me, and, started a practice pen, and then from then on went to rodeos, and just kind of gradually got better, and people started hearing your name, and that's really all there is to it. Is you work hard at it, you're going to go somewhere with it.
How old were you when you got started doing that?
I was 15.
15 years old.
Yeah, just about to turn 16.
How old are you now?
18.
18. So 3 years of getting out and doing the bullfighting and kind of making your way. What's your goal, like your ambition? Like, do someday you want to be a bullfighter at the NFR? Or,
yeah. Definitely, I'd like to go pro. Definitely like to, kind of fight the big shows like Cheyenne. Go to the NFR eventually, but there's still a lot of little steps I got to take to be able to get there. So, just gonna keep working hard, going to what I've got, and try and go pro in the next couple of years, and definitely try and be at the NFR within 5 or 6. So.
Nice. Kind of tell people. So, I know being out here in an arena, even with just a bull running around, can make you run for the fence, but if you got to get out there and get right in it, and you're right in the middle of a car crash, trying to protect the cowboys, whoever was riding, and is there you got to be a little bit scared, right? I mean, there's got to be at least a healthy, respectful fear of what can happen, because even as a bullfighter, you can still get killed.
Yeah, definitely. You're driving the car that's causing the crash. Is definitely what it. It's controlled chaos. It's a little different. And, you kind of have to be able to bring. Because you're going to be clear up here with your adrenaline, everything's going on, everything's going 100 miles an hour. You definitely got to be able to kind of calm your breathing down, think about it, Once you kind of get that under control, and you'll be slow, everything will be in slow motion. You'll see things that other people didn't even know happened. Definitely a lot of things going on, but when you kind of get breathing under control, and you can kind of learn how to control that fear, and you can definitely, get around it better, and then it won't be as scary. It'll still be scary, but that's just part of it.
You think getting around guys that actually know what they're doing and learning from them, and then getting in there with the less dangerous bulls, and kind of a lower level deal where you can kind of figure out what's going on, helps minimize the risk. Like it's like bull riding. I mean, you don't go get on the ranked bulls to start off.
Oh,
there would be no bull riders because they'd all be dead.
Yeah.
But you start out, like, the more work you put into it, as you minimize that risk, you become more comfortable because you're out there doing it more. And then it's a little easier to get around and know where to be, when to be.
Yeah, definitely. I got pretty fortunate. All the bulls I started out on, they couldn't outrun a toddler, so they're pretty slow. So you can kind of get confidence builder. Then you start going to rodeos, and you realize, oh, this is the real deal. These bulls aren't messing around, And then that's when you really figure out if this is what I want to do for another 20 years of my life. And it's definitely not a sport for everybody. You gotta be tough, or you're gonna get yourself or someone else hurt. That's the reality of it. Is and you can't become too relaxed with everything.
Sure.
You still got to be still that fear within you. But once you kind of get that under control, then you won't be so out and crazy.
Well, I think one thing people don't really appreciate or really understand is bulls, and especially today, are phenomenal, freakish athletes.
Yeah.
Like, they're bred for this now. A long time ago, they probably just grabbed whatever one and threw a flank strap on and bucked them out. But now they're bred for it, And it's pretty amazing. It's amazing to me when you see a 2,000-pound, 2,500-pound thing go out there like a wild mountain lion that got his tail caught in the door.
Cat-like.
Yeah, and they can jump and move and run, and they're a lot faster than people think too. I'm pretty sure, but you can tell them. I mean, you're right in there with it. They're pretty athletic, huh?
It's definitely a little nerve-wracking your first time you have one square up with you, and then first day, and you don't know what just happened. And you're like, man, I got away, but I don't know how. You didn't realize that they're gonna beat you every time. It's definitely an art. You kind of gotta, you never run in a straight line, because 4 is always gonna beat 2.
Yeah.
So, I learned that the hard way. So.
Zig and zag, so that sniper don't get you.
Yep. You're always coming up with ways to get around stuff. And, then you'll kind of realize you'll be able to slow it down in your head, go through frame by frame in your head, and then you'll be like, oh, I did this wrong if something did.
Oh, yeah.
So
I kind of always thought about it like, you ever watch that movie, The Lifeguard, where Kevin Costner, where they're the rescue swimmers and they go and save all the different guys,
That sounds more like Baywatch to me.
Yeah, well,
I like that a lot more.
Yeah, Baywatch should be good. But they have the Coast Guard has those rescue swimmers, and they go out and rescue people that are out there. To me, I always kind of thought of bull riders as being the rescue swimmer. Like that rider comes off, hits the ground, maybe they're knocked out, maybe they're hurt, whatever it is, and then you're the only thing between them and the morgue, you know, and you get in there, and I gotta imagine that's a satisfying or a really good, like the reward is making the save.
Yeah.
Like you can look cool and you can be the guy doing all the fancy bullfight shit, but I would think saving that guy from either being hurt real bad or dead has got to be good in here, and maybe even the opposite of if you don't make that save, does that sit with you? You know, like, you know, should I got here? Should I did this? Should I did that?
Yeah, it'll definitely eat at you. But I've had wrecks that I've been involved in that kid, you know, got hauled off or something like that. And, you know, if you let it eat at you too much, you won't ever come back. Yeah. You'll just sit there and grieve on it and worry about it. It's definitely not black and white, but you kind of saw a little bit tonight. There's a kid down out here, and we took the bull clear down to the side of the arena and kept him pinned up right here. And, you know, so it definitely is satisfying when you kind of get to say, oh, he was able to walk out of here, and you know, nobody unfortunately or fortunately died. You know, but stuff like that definitely does eat at you if they do.
Is that something though that, and you tell me yourself how you are, but is that part of why you like doing it? I mean, it's got to be exciting to go in there and do your thing with the bulls, but is there a part of you that saving that person is what drives you or makes you want to be a bullfighter? Not just the bullfighting part, but being the guy that saves the guys that are
and
riding the bulls, you know?
That's probably the biggest part that drives me. I can't speak for anyone else, but that's probably the biggest part that drives me to want to keep doing it is, you know, you're always going to have those wrecks that everybody talks about from 30 years ago that, oh, I did this, remember? But, you know, you're definitely going to have that one guy that remembers that one save that, you know, for sure could have ended a lot worse than it really did. You know, some got to learn to live and forget and move on past it, or it's just going to eat at you, and like I said, you'll never come back. But it definitely is a big satisfaction to be able to say, oh, I saved that kid. He was able to go home to his family for another night and get to be with him, keep doing what he loves. You know, even if you did get hit or stomped into the ground, because it happens, and you know, it's just part of the game. But you know, watching you save somebody, and it's really kind of what drives me more than anything. You know, I'm not doing it for the money, because I could do
I don't think anybody
gets
into a lot of these things just for the money, man. It's got to be a passion and a love of the game.
Yeah, you got to want,
especially starting out, because just about with anything to do with ranching or farming or cowboying or whatever else, is you do it because you love it, not because they're going to pay you a lot.
Yeah, because it's not easy.
No,
that's for sure. So.
First, who's your favorite bullfighter?
My favorite one to watch and learn from is,
and don't pick old chicken dick over there, somebody else.
Probably Joe Baumgartner.
Yeah, finally, man.
But he's probably my favorite one to learn from. But
amen.
Definitely, if we're giving out style points,
sure.
Rob Smets.
Yeah, Rob Smets. He's another one.
classiest, flashiest old guy I've ever seen, and he'll never make it.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever make it look better than he did.
Yes. Yep. Good choices. Good choices. Is there anybody you wanna name that's somebody people wouldn't even know in your bullfighting that you know you got with that was helping you along or whatever you kind of look up to that you've been working with? Or I think you named somebody when you first started, but
Yep, Skip Brown. And
Skip Brown. Yep.
Skip Brown and probably Caleb Frisbee
Okay.
are ones that helped me out the most. They kind of brought me from scrounging around on the dirt, watching from the fence to you know, watching other people from the fence. You know, so it's definitely a lot of thanks given to those guys, because if they would have turned me down and not given me any help, then I wouldn't be doing it, or you would never hear my name.
What's your favorite rodeo cowboy?
I don't know. We going for comedy or?
Just whoever's your favorite rodeo cowboy. Could be any event, anything, any time period, any age, any time, anything, anywhere.
Leon Coffey.
Leon Coffey.
He's a goofy old guy.
He's a good one, man. No, Leon Coffey's a good one. All right. Well, thank you, Kiefer. You got to catch Kiefer out here for a little bit at the Triple C Arena in Panguitch, Utah. Try and say that 5 times fast. Panguitch. Forget it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Cowboy Chats. Here we were down in front of the chutes with our bullfighter extraordinaire. Like, subscribe so you can catch all the videos we got coming up. And we'll see you down the trail. Keep your guns oiled, powder dry.